Good morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and I am hosting Tao of the Day. Um, I am excited to be able to present to you the Tao Te Ching as I translated it, because I translated these, or I wrote a rendition of the Tao, and that is what I've been presenting on the Tao of the Day. So if you have a number between 1 and 81 you want to select, why am I asking you to select a number between 1 and 81? Because there are 81 verses of the Tao, and within those verses we are selecting one, and it's kind of like a oracle deck, or a I'm gonna get a piece of paper so I can write some notes, so you might hear me walking around. um, so it's kind of like an oracle deck, a little bit like a tarot. If you have a number that's coming to you, then we'll get to be able to look at that number and how it relates to what it is you're going through at this moment in your life, and how we might be able to address those situations. So yesterday, Deborah Barsha joined me, and we talked about her going to a rehearsal. And then we talked about how the structure of things exposes the value of emptiness. And and that hopefully was something that she was able to bring to her rehearsal, talk to the people that were in the rehearsal, all about like how this play was there to expose the value of emptiness. What does that mean, expose the value of emptiness? Well, as we were looking at, is expose that which we interpreted to be able to be told out in the world. As an artist, I'm a painter. I'm at my sister's house in Virginia right now, and I'm looking around at all the paintings that my sister has of mine in her house, and all the prints and other things, and I'm saying, those, like, I was inspired to make art, right? I was inspired, and I translated that inspiration from Tao into something, right? Into making art in some way. And yet, you don't always have to translate it in that way. And so you can translate doing and being and feeling and all that into doing or being or feeling whatever it is you want to do, be, or feel. It's not one thing. And that emptiness is that void that you fill with your identity, you fill with yourself, you fill with the painting, you fill with the artwork, and then the artwork turns into a play or a painting or something. But it's you that is the most important part of it all, and you as that emptiness before the identity. And so that's what we talked about yesterday. Today, we might talk about what you want to talk about. So I would love if anybody were to step up and pick a number between 1 and 81. I would be happy to take a number. I love looking through this and then looking at the titles that I have written, and then picking a title that I associate with. So here, I'm going to read number 51, which is entitled The Cycle. The Cycle. Probably not the bicycle, but the cycle, like cyclical things. So this one states, life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. Everything emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, harmonizing with all things, completely maturing in its own time. All things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. Tao does not possess or interfere, each expressing and maturing in their own nature. When their experience is complete, Tao receives them again. So the cycle is starting from nothing, right? Start like all things are sustained. Tao is a gift of life. Life is a gift received from Tao. Life is a gift received from Tao. That is the beginning. And then at the end, when their experience is complete, when they're anybody who is experiencing a life, when their experience is complete, Tao receives them again. So life is a gift from Tao, and upon your death, Tao will receive you again. Tao will receive it again. Always cyclical, always cycling through. So the titles, the cycle, um, is really poignant, and I think that's connected. So we start in this place of life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. So here's the thing. It doesn't just sustain you. It sustains all things so that you can have a life. Right? Life in your gift is life. So you go out into the world and you experience things, right? You experience other people, you experience other things, other animals and rocks and all of that. Like life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. Tao is sustaining everything in the universe as part of the gift of life it is giving you. You can now receive that gift, and Tao is sustaining all things as part of that gift. Everything, everything emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, harmonizing with all things, completely maturing in its own time. You harmonize with things, even if you don't feel like it's harmonious. You harmonize with things, even if you were hit in the face with a rock at some point, and like that gave you an experience that aided your maturing, that aided you in experiencing all of these things, experiencing anger and upset and frustration. Even if those things happen, that's you harmonizing with all things. And you will completely mature in your own time. In its own time, it's completely maturing. And so, no matter what is happening, it's helping you move towards maturation. It's maturing you. No matter if you're, you know, addicted or not, or recovery, or there's nothing good, nothing bad. It's all right here and now. Now, like I've been working really closely at trying to get underneath the surface, right? Like get back in touch with me without dipping out. Because that's the one thing that I do that Dr. Rao is always telling me not to do, is dip out of that deepness. And I'm seeing more and more how important it is to stay underneath the surface so that I can mature. So I don't, and even if I don't allow myself to mature, that is part of the plan. That's fine. I'll get more lessons, but all things are harmonized. All things are sustained so that I can mature. This entire universe is just here so I can mature. So I might as well use it. And that's the same thing for you and everybody else, right? Like our experience here is part of a whole. And if we leave ourselves out of it, if we say, oh no, well, that's you, well, then we're missing the greatest lesson of all. And that it's not you. It's like you are actually me. So that's what this beginning is saying. It's life. Life is right at the beginning, and life is the gift. And in order to give someone life, there has to be more. It can't just be, oh, I'm going to give you life and you're going to exist in the void, or I'm going to give you life and you're going to exist with one other thing. No, you're going to exist with everything, and I'm going to give you life. I'm going to sustain all things because of it, And because that's happening, more and more and more life can be incorporated because all things are being harmonized. All things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. This is a thing that I think that we really fall out of. This is the thing that makes us all of our logical minds really get bent out of shape. All things exist and are nurtured through Tao. Period. That That doesn't mean sometimes. It doesn't mean when you're good. It doesn't mean anything like that. It's all constantly being nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. That means you don't have to go out and do it. That means you can, and that's what you want to get underneath. That idea that you have to do this thing, you have to provide, you have to do, you have to act, and you have to do all of this. That is you stuck in the ego, stuck in the body mind, stuck in this place of logic. But you don't have to do anything because it fosters and provides for them completely. So if you can just let go, and when I say let go, a lot of people say, well, if I let go, then I would be angry and I would be able to do all these things. But no, you don't know what letting go is, because that is unfathomable for someone that hasn't completely let go. And if you were able to completely let go, you would be provided for completely. And that's the ability to receive and surrender. Surrender everything. All that exists, all things exist and are nurtured through Tao. You exist through Tao. You are nurtured through Tao. And Tao fosters and provides for everything completely. Tao does not possess or interfere. See, that's a big deal. It does not interfere. It doesn't care. Tao does not care if you go out and choose to, I was talking earlier about being inspired and that turning into something. You have an empty, like you before you existed, all things were as they were. And then when you existed, you started putting definitions on things. And so, when I say I was inspired to paint, no, I was inspired, and I interpreted that inspiration into an action that we call painting. Right? That is more a direct and honest assessment of how I would be inspired to do something. You're inspired, period. You're inspired by Tao. Tao is receiving, and it's inspiring you, and it's harmonizing with you. It's doing all of the things with you, and you are here and sustained by Tao and all of that. And when you feel that tug of inspiration, well, that tug has to be inspired because it's abstract. And so when people go out and say, well, I paint because I have to. Well, no, you paint because that's how you have interpreted your experience. And that's it. Like, that's really all that it is. It's not that you have to do something, because you don't. We don't have to paint. We think we do because we have interpreted this to such a degree that we've interpreted the answer to a point where it's like, oh, well, now I have to do this because I am now identified with doing this. I identify myself with this thing. And so because I'm identifying with it, I now am it. Right? Like, I am a painter. No, you're not. You paint, and that's cool. Like, maybe one day you won't. But like, once you start identifying with things, you start closing yourself off to the potential that you were born with. And Tao does not interfere. That is such an important aspect of all this. All things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. Tao does not possess or interfere. It doesn't care. Tao don't care. Tao doesn't care. So it doesn't possess you. You have your own life, and you can choose to do whatever you want with it. You want to turn from Tao and BD. You wanna embrace anger and frustration and malice and all that. Yes, fine. You can do that. You are free to do that. I'm not going to interfere with you. I'm not going to tell you it's bad, but you are creating all this, and you are being sustained. And if that's what you need to be sustained, then Tao will sustain you in that way, each expressing and maturing in their own nature. As you express yourself, you learn. As you learn, you mature. So you take an action, you are still, and you go through the process over and over and over again until one day you realize that it's you. It's all you. You are here. And this moment is going to turn into the next moment. So it's not without consequence, it's not without energy, it's you right now experiencing. When their experience is complete, Tao receives them again. And that's how this all kind of wraps up. When their experience is complete, when they're done experiencing their life, Tao receives them again. Julie is going to come and join me. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. How are you,
Hello.
Julie?
I'm in a good frame of mind. I am in a
Oh,
good moment. I am in a good, relaxed moment.
well, let's take this moment. Let's just take a breath together and just kind of be in this moment and to focus on that space right below your heart, right below your rib cage. Just breathe into there really quick and just say, "Oh, thank you."
That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
As I breathe in a sense of optimism
good.
and life breath. And as I breathe out, I'm releasing stress.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
that was so good.
I have just popped on. I've spoken to Adam, and I enjoy Adam and his conversation very much.
I
And
don't know,
in my
Adam. Do I?
mind, well, behind my mind, in that
Did I lose you? I cannot hear you.
beautiful space that I
Hmm.
enjoy. So yeah, I thought I saw you here. I thought I'm going to come and say hello to Martin John, and I've got a number for you.
Oh, what's my number?
Today is number 11 because I'm the 11th person to tune in.
Oh, okay. Well, here we are. 11 is beautiful. I read 11 yesterday with Deborah Barsha. And, like what I love about this is they always have they're always perfect, but they're always perfect for different reasons. And so let's
Mm.
look at 11. 11 is emptiness and value.
Oh, lovely.
Spokes, tire, rim, and hub all make a wheel, yet it is the space where the axle goes that makes it worthwhile. Clay is formed into a vessel, and a vessel's function is to hold things. Thus, its form includes emptiness. A house can be built, but if it were solid, it would be useless. It is easy to see structure, but structure is there to expose the value of emptiness.
How lovely is that? Enjoying that space.
Yeah, when you came on, the first thing we did was just take that breath.
Mm.
Emptiness is so valuable.
Emptiness. On my, as I've been observing the world, seems to be something that nobody wants to embrace. They're worried that with emptiness, they are missing out on something. That empty, but that empty is great. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah, like I think in like you're in England, I'm in the States. Like we are the kings of capitalism.
Hmm.
You know, and when we think about emptiness, we think about loss. When we think about emptiness, we think about not having,
Yeah,
lack. We think about like all of the things that are like I remember one time I was talking with someone and they were really mad with me because I didn't want things. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, like there's nothing to want. I don't want you to not want things. I want you to want things. You can want things, and I want you to enjoy your
Mm.
wanting things. But I have found for me that wanting things doesn't have anything. And yet I feel like I have and I receive a lot more than they do because I'm open to
Mm.
it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm empty. I'm
that's
empty
what
and
the
I can
space is.
receive.
Yeah, yeah. The space is for an ever flowing thing. It's a space for to receive. And
Right.
at the same time, that space can let go as well because it isn't the structure, it is just the space. It has no boundary. So it can always be ever flowing. So it can always be empty.
You know, I always, like in your talking about this is the first time I've really kind of thought about this, so it might not make sense. But, every want, every desire takes up space.
Yeah,
And if it's taking up
yeah.
space, and if we have like desires and wants and it's taking up space, then we can't be empty. And if we can't be empty, then we can't necessarily receive those things that we want or desire.
We're too busy seeking. It's one of those. It's one of those when you're empty, you're forever seeking, 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 or wanting.
Right.
We spend so much time in the wanting or the seeking that we never find because there's no space to find, exactly as you said. Exactly as you said.
Yeah, I mean, and I've known people who were seekers.
Mm.
That was what they did. Like they
Yeah,
did that so well. They just would seek and seek and seek. And the point of seeking has there's no actual intention to find anything.
yeah,
It's always just about the experience of seeking.
yeah. That's filling the space. Yes.
Right. I just got to fill that space. I got to fill. What are you going to fill it with? I'm going to fill it with seeking, and I'm going to fill this time with seeking, and I'm going to fill this with just wanting and seeking and wanting and seeking, and it's just like, yes, that's the answer. I'm just going to want and seek.
Mm. Yes,
You have a
Willow.
dog. What is with this dog?
It's barking because it can hear a noise of a truck reversing outside. It's Tracy's dog,
Okay.
and I am in Tracy's house and Claire's house. They've gone on their honeymoon.
Oh.
So I am filling their space. But I'm not
Oh.
really.
But
It's
see, that's the
still their
thing. Like,
space. It's still their space, and they're not here, and it's empty. And I
yeah.
can play about in it while they're not here.
That's beautiful. That's and that's the thing. If you wanted and wanted and wanted, like you wouldn't be able to like right now you're just able to be in this space.
Mm, it's lovely. I am
Yes.
enjoying the emptiness.
Yeah. That's so great.
So yes, this is where I am at the moment. I am. I've kind of made quite a good my my illness that I had
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
recovery.
Yeah.
So, which is great talking to you because you assisted me on many occasions to acquire the tools to recover myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm talking to you on one of my best days so far in
Since getting
recovering
ill.
myself from
Yeah.
illness. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm rediscovering the space in there
And
again.
also we want to, like in that process of like recovering ourselves, we have to recognize that you're not just recovering the illness. We have to be able to look at the illness
Yes.
that you had and say, "Huh, why did I have that? Like what how, what about it
Yeah, look at
was I
that experience.
resistant to, right?
Yeah.
And what about it did I suffer? And how do I and how is that reflected back to me?" in what I do and how I treat others or how I treat myself.
Yeah. In my case, this illness was, in a way, teaching me the most valuable lesson of a spoon of my own medicine.
Yeah. What was this?
Because I work with people so often. So it's a kind of a way of saying when I go to work and I pour out into these people about how wonderful life is and how they're on the road to recovery and how strong they are and all of these things that I say and to the people who've had COVID. They are
Yeah.
in COVID. And then there I catch it. And I sit at home and I have to say, so what is it? What is this illness? How do I treat others when I'm well and they are in this moment? What do I do? I know exactly what I do. I talk to them, I encourage them, I build them up. And this is what I must do for me.
Hmm.
So that's what I had to do. I had to turn around and take a spoon of that medicine, a little bit of
Yeah.
sugar on the top.
Yeah. 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 That's
And
good.
I had to trust myself. I had to trust myself. I had to feel safe in myself. All of that trust that those people allow me to have. I had to do that for me and have a blooming good look at myself.
Yeah.
Say, no, you're not. You are playing at the illness. Is are you weak? Are you ill? What is it that you feel right now, and what would be the thing that you would like someone to do for you to assist you right now? Because you're going to have to do that for yourself.
Right.
Rely on anybody else to be self-reliant. So it's teaching me those things. It's teaching me it's okay to not feel well.
That's
It's
right.
okay to sometimes say I'm tired. It's okay.
Yeah. And like I always like to look at, well, if it was okay for you to be there that long or to be ill or,
Mhm.
like then if you just kind of receive it, then there's nothing to look at. You've received
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
But it's when you are resistant. It's those moments that you're resistant. Those moments. I've noticed I've been getting quieter in my mind, and and just like from a space of observing, I notice that my mind is always searching for a way to get my attention.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's constantly whipping through one scenario, one memory, one thing after another, and I don't even know what it's doing. Like I got to a place the other day, and I took a flight yesterday, and I was doing this and stuff where I was like, oh, you know, I'm recognizing, I'm not hearing what my mind is saying, but I'm recognizing my mind is kind of going through this chatter, and I'm like, huh, I wonder what it's doing. And
Yeah.
I'm not focused on anything, and I'm so I but I can see it just rattling on, and and I always I'm always like intrigued at, well, if my brain is doing that all the time, then it's always looking for something that I can latch on to.
Mm.
It's kind of like flipping through channels. It's like, oh, flip, 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 flip. Oh, there's a game. I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Like flip, 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 and you lose focus of where you are. And if your brain is doing this all the time, then every time we get upset, or we're fine in one moment and then the next we're not.
Mm.
It's like we came across something that we're not okay with.
Yeah.
And when we can become aware that, okay, well, we're not okay with it, what is it that I'm not okay with? And get into that story and figure out, but once again, if you're okay with it, you can be quiet. And that doesn't mean distract yourself, but you can be quiet in that moment. Then that just that just allows you to enjoy and be content with this moment. And you don't have to want anything.
Absolutely. You can just observe it. You don't even have to interact with it in any way. Just observe it.
Just observe it.
Yeah.
You can just observe it and allow it to just be empty. It doesn't. You don't have to fill this moment with something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And as this thing wraps up, it just says it's easy to see structure, but structure, all that stuff out in the world, is only there to expose the value of the emptiness within each of us.
Mm. I'm empty. Yay!
Yeah.
What a great
And that's the thing.
positive
Like, the more
place.
empty you are, the more you find the things that are filling you. And then
Yeah.
you can say, oh, maybe I can get rid of that too.
Mm. Yeah.
I love you, Julie.
Love you too, Martin John. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day. My buddy Kelly, are you going to be coming on? Or did you drop off? Cece, thanks for all the love.
I'm here.
Kelly, you are
Hi,
here.
I made
Hey.
it.
You did. I am so glad you did as well.
It's
Um, I tried calling you yesterday, but I didn't catch you. Did we talk
no, yeah,
yesterday?
yeah. You're at the airport.
Oh my God! This is how empty I am.
You had a
I've
lot
totally.
going on in the moment. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't like. I'm at my sister's, and like I'm talking to you now, and I was like, I don't even remember taking a plane yesterday.
Oh
It was
my
funny.
goodness.
Two people asked me how my flight was yesterday, and I was just like, I was like literally going home from the airport, and I was just like, flight? Oh yeah, that's right. I was on a plane.
I,
Like I have no like I didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about the fact that I was even on a plane. I don't even know. It's crazy.
wow. It's a fast pace though. Also, when you're going, it's like you're doing the
Yeah,
next thing. Yeah.
just doing that next thing, and it's like I'm here now. I don't ask me questions about where I've been.
There was never a been. It's always a now.
Yeah, right. It's like I don't know. Like I don't know. Just let it go, man. I don't know. Let it go. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I don't.
We
So
did
where
the
were
trick
we?
or
We're gonna.
treat. We did the trick or treating thing last night, and yeah, I don't know what I was going to tell you about that anymore. Actually,
What did you do last night?
well, trick or treating last night was Halloween.
Oh, yes, that's right. It was Halloween. I
Yeah.
am I am at my sister's house and it is like filled to the gills with candy. And like it's going to take me quite a bit to not snack,
I
but
ate a piece of candy right when I woke up. It was like automatic.
yeah, it's
Ah, yeah.
and this is going to be good for me because as I was talking to Julie about that idea of getting underneath the surface, I think the candy is in thinking. Because once it go, I've talked to clients about this. I was just like, if it is in your mind that you're going to have candy a week ago, then you'll have candy today. you know, like
Hmm.
like it's a slow process that just eats away at your executive function, and it could be good that you had a piece of candy first thing in the morning because the first thing in the morning you don't want to do is like tell yourself no, but yeah,
I don't even. I won't. I don't like that it's an option, but it does bring your awareness to like where you're unconsciously behaving, or like.
that's right.
And
That's
so,
right.
there's the bright side.
There's always something to learn. Speaking of something to learn, let's look at a number.
I remember we were talking about the Dow yesterday, and you're talking about the numbers. How like I'm curious which people, which numbers are never picked, if there ever has been a number that was never picked. But that's not for right now. I'm just curious. So,
One of the great things that there are numbers that are picked very seldomly, um, and if that's something that you'd like to look into, I think like it's interesting because there's some of they're odd numbers. I think like 34.
I was gonna say 33. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think 33 might be one of the numbers as well. Let me look here. It might be, like there's these weird numbers in the middle of each of the
10.
the groups of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. there are some like numbers that don't get picked. And I remember because I was like, oh, did I do them all? And in order to know that, I had to write the script for a search program on
App.
my website.
Mm.
So like you can look up and you can see how many different like there's some like 11 gets picked a lot, but I think like 33 and like some of the 30s, I think there's like 50s, like 53 maybe, or 50, and like maybe not 53, but like but the singular ones, there might be like two
I
or three next to each other sometimes, but there's like singular ones that don't get picked very
think
often.
it's so interesting. Like it's such a part of our world to know this for some reason. To me, it's very intriguing to just see like over a year's time what do what's like the flow of that and how does it, because people say like numbers are math, but it's like this universal language, which I think is something else, but you can still see a lot through numbers. And even here, like I'm like, wow, that's kind of fascinating to me that, like what's the correlation here, like what do people gravitate towards, because so it's kind of like a collective thought.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But 33 is my number.
33 is your number. So this one is going, you are not manifestation. Study others and gain some knowledge. Study yourself and gain deep wisdom. Controlling others takes strength, but controlling your ego and desires takes power and perseverance. Knowing that you have enough gives you wealth. Grasping for money and love forces you to conform. Embrace who you are and stay centered in that. And although you will die, you will not perish.
Who you are, this has been, of all the things I've thought all week, the thing that's been the most present is just knowing who you are. It's my favoriteest thing. I think it's the most important thing. Well, I mean, there's many most important, I guess, but for me
Yeah, there's
right
only
now,
one most important.
yeah, it's true by definition. But
A
yeah,
grammatical definition, at least.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like this is not an English class, but
I know it's true. It's true. Um, yeah. So knowing who you are, like that's the thing that's been in my head a lot lately, and the value of that, because that keeps you grounded and that keeps you connected and that keeps you in the Tao. Like it keeps you also, because when you do that, you see that we're all connected, and you see that the part in the beginning about ego and stuff.
so I want to do what I've done in the past and I haven't done in a while is touch on the first and last lines. We're going to relate those two together, and then we'll look at the rest. So study others and gain some knowledge. Study yourself and gain deep wisdom. That's how we start. And it ends with embrace who you are and stay centered in that. And although you will die, you will not perish.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a bit of like remembering more than just yesterday involved with knowing who you are. Like you remember things that I think that you didn't experience in this physical time, and there's also the memory just of others. Like I think that doesn't go away when your physical form goes away, and like knowing that about yourself is how that you're able to not, you know, it's releasing the fear of death.
When I look at study others, that's so stuck in the manifestation.
Yeah,
It's stuck in I'm going to study what you do, I'm going to study how you are, I'm going to study your body, I'm going to study all of this manifestation. And when we look at manifestation, we look at like limits. The manifestation is held within certain limits, like life only goes so long, like, and maybe we can get over that in some way, but as far as we can tell at this moment, studying others, you gain some knowledge. There are limits when you study others. Study yourself and gain deep wisdom. There's no limit to that. You are
Yeah.
much more than that. And then at the end of this, right, it says, embrace who you are and stay centered in that. Stay centered in that which you are. Yeah, you're going to die. You're part of manifestation, but you're not going to perish because that which you are is more than just this body.
The study of others gives you that fear, like it makes you like you see them, and you that in that manifestation you can get distracted from the truth too. You might see them age or see them whatever it is that can distract you from your truth.
Yeah. And that just puts you in this place of embracing just the manifestation, just the limits of this, you know, pretend experience of our lives.
And study of others is like when you get caught up in any of it, like if you
That's
get
right.
caught up in like what do
In
people
thinking
think,
that it's
or what are
important.
they doing? Yeah, like
Yeah.
what is so and so, or what am I winning, or is there competition to something, or whatever people get worried about, where they start checking other people's business out.
Now you have a spectrum. As soon as you study another person, you say, he sits here on the spectrum, I sit there on the spectrum, this other person sits other places on the spectrum, and now we have a way to say something is good and something is bad and something is right and something is wrong. And there are these middle lines. Controlling others takes strength, but controlling your ego and desires takes power and perseverance. That's that inner power. Controlling your ego and your desires to be like other people.
And by power, not control. I think
Yeah,
power is not just like I'm controlling you, so I'm powerful. Power
yeah.
is like
You
it's
know
really.
that difference between power and strength. You can use that strength or force. You can use force, but there's a difference when you use power.
Yeah, yeah, because power, in my mind, it comes from like the earth or around you. It's
Comes
something
from
that
within.
universal, comes from within. Yeah, through you.
Knowing that you have enough gives you wealth. Grasping for money and love forces you to conform. Talk to me about that line.
Oh, that's a good one. Um, Obviously, you have enough right here and right now. Everybody's able to connect and that's listening, and they're breathing and they've had water, and I'm assuming that, but you know it's pretty close to probably right. Like that's enough. Like right here, right now. Like and that is wealth. Like that's all you need. Like that's abundant. And when you like realize that you're okay right now, you start to notice you already are. You have abundance. You have everything. You have everything you need. Like it's all just, as I like that you say. You're just I don't know how you put it, but you're making up the future. You don't know what's gonna happen. Like you're just.
Predicting and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just and I also like about this line, knowing that you have enough gives you wealth. And um in the other lines, we're like studying others and controlling others. It's like the only reason you would want that is because you wanted
Mm,
more. You
yeah.
want you want to be seen with more love. You want to have more money. You
You
want
know,
to have more stuff.
it's good that you say you want to be seen with more love, because we always blame the money or the this or the that, but it's also just the little things like acceptance of yourself,
Yeah.
validation, um, success, or just love. We can miss out on how loved we are and lash out in ways we wouldn't normally do.
Well, and this is where, grasping for money or love forces you to conform, which
That's
means you have to look at others, you have to control others, you have to do things to others in order for you to be accepted.
That is something I have actually written out and talked about a lot this week too, because like in corporate jobs, but any jobs, like you do things you don't want to do, but also like in war or just
In
politics or
relationships.
in relationships, it's everywhere around you. Like, why are you, like you don't know yourself, like you forget or whatever. Like, I had a really intense experience where somebody, well, I don't know, I won't share that right now, but like, yeah, it really compromises something inside of you that you didn't want to because you thought you didn't have enough. Food prices have gone up $5 a thing, and housing is like scarce even though it's totally abundant. And every time something is taken away from us,
Yeah.
oh, I
And
thought
that's
that, right, I thought I said that I
no.
was dropped off. Every time something's taken away from us in society, we think it is, right. Like, if there's scarcity, then we believe it, but because we don't realize we already have enough. Like, there's other ways. Like, it's all about, like conforming, giving away your power a bit.
All right. Now you've dropped off. So if you wanted to come back up, you can. But yes, you're right. It is all about that conforming. And then we wrap this up with embrace who you are and stay centered in that.
Yes,
So then it wraps up embrace who you are and stay centered in that.
that's exactly the solution. Because right now, like, you can find shelter, you can figure out food. Like, I mean, I know there are extreme cases, but just noticing in American culture as we are, the way that jobs are, the way that prices are changing, all this stuff about economics and all this stuff that causes us so much fear about our house and our food and our water and our safety. And then we just start focusing on not having, and we're giving our power away and doing it. And like, we're going to get in line and do what we're told in order to have those things, but we have those things. They're not
Yeah.
there for anyone else's to take away. Like, you have those things. You have what you need. Like, and knowing who you are is like the solution to that. Like, nobody can, like, you can still do this. Like, you're gonna be okay. Like, you just have to get out of that state of like the somebody around you trying to force you to conform.
Yeah. And so, like in this one wraps up, embrace who you are and stay centered in that, not in any of the other stuff. Stay centered in who you are. But once again, you have to stop studying others, trying to gain knowledge, and study yourself to gain deep wisdom. And then, after we looked at controlling others and then knowing that you have enough, now, although you will die, you will not perish because you will know who you are. You're going to know the depths that you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty. This all speaks very, very, very purely to what I believe as well. Like, just for me, it is just so clean. It's just so true that knowing who you are is so important.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to
Before
talk
you're,
with you.
oh no, I'm glad I caught you. I intentionally was like, I'm gonna check and see. You're the first
Oh,
person.
and here
I
I
was like,
am.
yes.
Here I am.
And I
I'm
heard a little bit of
glad you did.
Julie, and she sounds better too. So yay, Julie.
Yeah, it's all like everybody's doing so well. I'm so happy. All right, we're gonna move on to Cece. I love you. Have a
Oh, good.
wonderful day.
I'll listen. I love you too.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Did you take a walk this morning?
Not yet, but I will. I like to wait now since I'm in Colorado until it warms up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It'll,
To at least until it at least gets 40 degrees.
yeah. Well, whereabouts in Colorado?
Beautiful Boulder. I mean, it's
Oh, man.
stunning.
I understand. Like, it is just sunny there every day.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And the house, I'm cat sitting here, and the house is like right at the foothills of the mountains. It is
No,
amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. And Lois is coming to join me tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, I get to
Party in
see Lois.
Boulder. What's up?
I know. I get to see Lois again. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah. One day we'll have a big old wisdom party.
yeah,
Um,
we're gonna definitely have to do that.
yeah,
Yeah, we will all figure it. We'll just make a big party
for sure. And I heard Lois is coming to visit you at some point when
at
you
some point. Yeah,
at
like
some
she's
point in
like I'm gonna.
Chicago.
We're gonna. As soon as as soon as I get everything situated on a nice summer day, I'm just gonna invite everybody over for a weekend or something. It'll be nice.
Sounds wonderful. I can't wait
Yeah.
to meet more and see you again,
Yeah,
actually.
no, it'll be wonderful. It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
cool.
So, let's find a number for you today as you wait for it to warm up.
Sure. I thought Kelly was going to pick my number because she said 34, but I had 24 in mind already.
24. Here we go. So 24 is titled "Do What Is to Be Done."
Mhm.
Standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. Rushing ahead robs you of knowing where you are.
Mm,
Looking at yourself robs you of seeing. Boasting of yourself robs you of your brilliance. Overpowering others robs you of your power. Clinging to your work robs you of longevity. If you want to align with Tao, just do what is to be done and then stop.
oh my gosh. That's it?
That's it.
That's amazing. That's
So
so amazing.
yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the do what is to be done and then stop is really amazing because, I always have this like, oh, I'm not doing enough in my mind, right?
Mm,
And so here I am in Boulder enjoying the beauty, but am I doing enough? And then it just had to come to a point where I'm like, yes, enjoying is doing enough.
yes.
Just being in this beautiful place, enjoying the nature, yeah, just being in joy is absolutely enough.
It
And that's
is.
something I have to remind myself all of the time. Like I didn't create this for nothing, this simple lifestyle, traveling and being in the most amazing places for nothing, to be like
Yeah.
scrambling around, having to be busy all the time. And I actually really dislike the busy word. So, I didn't create this to be having to do something all of the time. So just
Right.
enjoy. Yeah.
I want to just kind of pause with that for a moment. Because, like, we don't even have to talk. This is enough. What is to be done right now? Like, we can.
Exactly what I'm doing.
It's right. That's right. There's nothing that you're doing that isn't what is to be done. And so, we look at standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing.
Mm,
Like standing on tiptoes, I'm always, it's always such a, this is like the literal translation of this. There's not much I could do with it because every translation I read was talking about this exact thing. Standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. So I left it in just as it was translated many, many times before.
mm,
But standing on tiptoes is such an interesting thing. Like when do we stand on tiptoes? When we want to see further ahead, when we want to be a little taller, when we want to, you know,
mm.
seem a little bigger.
When I'm working a little harder, and I'll tell you, when I'm going up the mountain, I'm on my tippy toes because it helps to, get up there a little bit easier. I'm running
Yeah,
up there, I'm on my tippy toes, but I'm working harder.
yeah.
Mhm.
I like going up the side of steep hills backwards sometimes
Ooh.
because I can keep my feet firmly planted.
Right. Mm,
I've really loved your exploring the non-dominant handwriting.
mm.
It's been great to
Thank
see
you.
your progression. I mean, as you know, I've been doing that for a while, and it's such a beautiful experience of discomfort.
Yeah, and I didn't know you were doing that, so that's
Oh,
pretty
you
awesome.
didn't? Oh, I thought you
No.
did. So I've
Mm-mm.
I've talked about that. So I've been writing with my non-dominant hand since like 2016, 2017.
Oh, wow.
And I'm currently, my morning journal, I write 3 pages with my non dominant hand, and I write from right to left and then left to right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, and I write normally with my right hand. I write, uh, left to
Hmm.
right,
Right.
um, normally, because I started recognizing when I started writing left to right, right to left with my with my right hand, that started to become my normal writing. And I started writing a note to somebody, and I actually started writing backwards and I was just like, no, I can't do this just normally. So it
Mm,
was really interesting. So I was like, okay, from now on, anytime I write with my right hand, it is traditional. But when I write with my left hand, I can do whatever I want. My
right.
goal is to write with my feet.
What? Nice. I love it. More
Just because,
talented feet. It's so
well,
funny.
right. I mean, I've seen, people with no arms write with their feet.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I was just like, well, it can be done. Now, when I'm comfortable
Yeah.
writing with my left hand, the
Right.
idea will be to continue to continue to challenge my body, continue to challenge this moment so that I know what it means to feel uncomfortable. Because too often when we feel uncomfortable, we run away from it.
Yes, there's another challenge that I'm doing. So I'm joking around about 40 degrees and getting outside and stuff. The truth is, like, I'm just been outside whenever I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
um, But one thing, like, I am still doing is wearing my shorts, and
Yeah.
it's to challenge myself, because I'm very, I say, sensitive to the cold, and, like, would be like wearing a big old fleece jacket in Florida at 60 degrees,
Right.
and but now I'm like, I'm in this place and I want to enjoy it. And so something like keeping on my shorts, like, that is definitely opening me up to be more comfortable in the cold, and
Yeah.
it's just these little things that we can do to just make ourselves even stronger, or
I look at animals all the time and I'm just like, it's fucking cold out there, dude. And you're just out there. And then I
right?
recognize I'm a mammal as well.
Great, yeah.
Like I can do that. Now, can I get out of my mind enough? And this is, as we're looking at do what is to be done, like these are things that we're interpreting from inspiration. We're inspired. We're just like, you know what? What is to be done right now? We don't
Right.
have to boast about it. We don't have to overpower others with it. We don't have to tell other people to do it. You know, we don't have to look at ourselves and pat ourselves on the back because and that's what this is saying. Standing on tiptoes robs you of firm footing. Rushing ahead robs you of knowing who you are. Rushing ahead is also about like getting to the destination. And if the destination is being comfortable, you can put on a parka.
Right.
But if you slow down, maybe you can just be comfortable in 40 degrees
Yeah.
without the parka.
Right.
Now that might take more time, but rushing to comfort robs you of knowing who you are and what you're
Hmm.
capable of.
Yes, I love that.
Looking at
Beautiful.
yourself robs you of seeing because you're not looking around you.
Mm.
Boasting of yourself robs you of your brilliance. You are brilliant, Cece. You are so brilliant. And what you do is amazing. And just that you do it and you don't sit around and, like, you don't boast of it. You just put it out there. I remember I saw a comment on one of your things. It was just a simple hashtag non dominant hand, but someone was just like, wow, it looks like you're really drunk or whatever. And you're like, yeah, it's great. I'm practicing all the time. And it was such a beautiful, it wasn't like you were trying to let them know, hint them in or clue them in on what was going on so that they didn't look down on you or whatever because of
Mm.
your writing or whatever it was, right? Like you just said, "Yep, it's great." And I thought that
Awesome.
that was so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I love the constantly challenging ourselves, um, just to see what we are capable of because we are capable of so much. And most of us know just from what we came, from our past and to now, we can see what we are capable of doing. And
Right.
there's so much more than that too, you know.
Yeah.
So Yeah, thank you so much. I love that, and I love that this was your interpretation or your words, right? Your
Yeah, this is
translations.
mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
absolutely.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You as well. Well,
Bye.
this one continues to just say, like, overpowering others robs you of your power. Clinging to your work robs you of your longevity. If you want to align with Tao, just do what is to be done and then stop. You know, and Cece did what she needed to do and then stopped. And that's what we all should do. That's beautiful. Do what we need to do at this moment and then stop. There's no reason to continue. Thank you all so much for joining me for Tao of the Day. I appreciate your attention. Thank you, Julie, Kelly, and Cece. You're some of my favorites. I love all my buddies here on Wisdom. I'm so honored to be. I'm honored to be here and to be loved by so many of you. And I want you to know that, like, I return that love um, without limit. You guys are all so beautiful. I really appreciate you joining me and encouraging me and sticking with me for Tao of the Day. I'm currently working on building an app for Tao of the Day where you'll be able to pick your own number every day and you'll get recordings of me talking with people about these numbers. So I may go in and clip out CC's 24, clip out Julie's number 11 from today and put that into the app. And those are things you'll read the text, you'll see my notes, then you'll be able to get the recordings as well. I really appreciate you guys sticking around and being such a great support for me. I'm Martin John. If you guys really love what I do, you can always send me a tip through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia. And I'm always talking about recovery and other things like that. And so if you're interested in recovering yourself, as Julie has mentioned earlier, definitely reach out to me through my website, martinjohn.com, or here on Wisdom or on Instagram. You'll find all my links in my link tree, which is attached to my profile. Well, thank you all once again. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.